from Tijuana, Mexico. Here we are. Okay, now I'm here with
Josh Pann.
Okay, now we were discussing before, because we've got to keep it clean because we've just been kicked off of TikTok. And no, I wasn't twerking. Okay, we're actually talking about certain medical procedures that you can't talk about. So we're discussing that we can't talk about certain medical procedures. So, Josh, what brought you down here?
Well, I love this clinic down here. I first met Dr. Bergman maybe 10 years ago looking for some real solutions to the spine when I started realizing how important the spine was and the gut. And I just had never ran across anybody who had the breadth and the depth but really produced the results. And over the years, time and time again, I've had other spinal injuries, and I've come back, and time again, you put me back together.
When he talks about other spinal injuries, we're talking about falling 30 feet,
Yes.
Acro Yoga, landing on your head. This isn't like, oh, I hurt myself golfing.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, your X-ray now, some of the coolest Valgas patterns ever. I mean, a really, really good looking guy.
If those could be cool.
Okay, if you're a nerd, I don't get out much, and I'm thinking Valgas patterns are pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Okay, wait,
Yeah.
so did you have any trouble crossing the border?
No, it's easy. It's easy. Me and my wife, we walk across the border, and we just catch a cab, and $15 later, we're here. And it's easy. They drop us right off at the front door. We walk in. It's a wonderful clinic. I mean, you can get vitamins for a fraction of the cost of what they cost in the United States. You can get the best chiropractic care.
What are you juicing up?
We got some high dose vitamin C, which this stuff has gone through the roof in America.
Okay, I know. And what's wild is they don't have because we do 100 grams. Okay, and we have a lot of patients with cancer and with some really chronic illnesses, and you get an antioxidant at a high level. Of course, that's one of the things we can't really talk about, because 2 years ago, when the panic was first starting, this is actually a real viable option. Check out Orthomolecular, and this is Linus Pauling. Great data on it. We just can't mention it. Now, what aside from physical trauma, high stress, everything else? I know you brought your sweetheart down. Okay, what activities does your sweetheart do?
My wife is an aerialist she does circus, so she does all this stuff real high up in the air, swinging on really uncomfortable things, and she's incredibly flexible.
Yeah, so when you're seeing people that flip up, roll down, let go, slam on, and it's just like human art, like, damn.
Straight.
Thank God.
Cirque du Soleil.
I mean, just to be the same species, it's kind of cool.
True.
But,
True.
Yeah, but consequently, being that physical, there's some maintenance that's required, but you guys are totally cool. I mean, but what? Because I've known you for like 10 years, okay, and you've always been one of those to take charge of your health. What started that? I mean, you brought your mom, who had some issues. You brought your dad, who I freaking adore. Your mom and his parents are just the coolest people ever. They really, really are.
I mean, I'm not just. I think I've been sending people to you, but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, I've broken my spine really good many times, and I was just thinking about it too. I can't imagine if those were compounding. You know, if like I had this old football injury, and then on top of that I have this other injury, and like my quality of life just continues to diminish. And yet, like, I found a guy who can like pull these things out and get things moving again and decompress them and put them and help me understand the importance of the curves in my spine and how that's going to help me to feel young eternally, you know. I keep that spine good, and I just can't imagine what life would be like if all those injuries just kept piling up. But like, you give me this great opportunity to come into you, and you crank me this way and tell me a few PT, and I'm real religious about it. I love that when you give me the good PT, because I'll go and apply it, and then I know that just multiplies what you're doing on the tables here, which is so important.
That is true, because 90% of the nerves come off the spine. There's no pain fibers. So if you're waiting for a symptom, that ain't smart. And you're right, most people just let it build up.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to my partner, okay, Alessandro, and a shoemaker's family is going to be without shoes. He's traveling, and I'm going, have you been doing the exercises? No. Have you been getting the IVs? No. So when you're running a clinic that is for restorative, okay, that regenerates the body, sometimes you get a little too busy to take care of yourself. So, brother, this is for you too. I mean, you've referred everybody, but what causes you? Because there's people out there, and this is huge, where they get a diagnosis and it's like a label on their forehead, and they'll say crazy stuff like it runs in my family, even though you got 10 people in your family that don't have it. What were you always like health oriented? What?
No, not so much. No, I played in a rock and roll band and just ruined myself for 10 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I toured. I had to really wreck myself, and so when I hit my 30s and I started to realize I couldn't continue on down this path, I was looking for some solutions to undo these things, and I just wasn't going to find it in Western medical. And believe me, I tried. I looked all over the place.
Okay, so what would you tell people? Because I mean, San Diego areas, there's a hell of a lot more dangerous places than there are in Tijuana. Okay, you're not going to go to dark areas in any town at all. Okay, you got to speak louder.
Yeah.
Yeah. The microphone's up there. Am I okay? Because I came from a big family. Okay, so I can turn up the volume. Okay, so what would you tell people to empower them to take charge of their health?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is finding people who really know what they're doing when it comes to the gut and when it comes to the spine. And these are the two things that the doctor's never going to ask you. You never walk into the doctor's clinic and he's like, well, how's your digestion? How's your spine? Does your back hurt? And yet these things, I feel, in my own personal research and study and understanding of this unbelievable machine that we have, is the two things. It's the gut and the spine, the two life support systems, the two together. And so you are half the equation of this, of finding somebody who could really actually understand how to straighten the spine out, and the long course of bending a piece of wood so that it's back in its shape, rather than the temporary relief that you're going to get from a guy who just cracks you like a glow stick and sends you on the way. I want a guy who actually documents it. I want to see the curves of my spine, and I want to understand the movement and the progress. And that's also was incredibly motivating to me too, because when I met you, I had given many doctors a try. And yet very few of them had really actually produced results. And so when I met you, and then I get 30 adjustments in, and we shoot some more x-rays, and we look at it, and I was feeling better. But to see the degrees, and to see the curves, and to see the gaps coming back where they should, and the ones closing up where they shouldn't be, that was incredibly motivating for me.
Yeah, it's the spine is one thing. The nervous system controls and coordinates every function. That's why we're looking at the spine, which houses that central nervous system and literally allows your body to regenerate tissue. Okay, listen to Josh. Take care of yourself. Take charge of your health. And this is what I say all the time, because I had another patient before you that said it's adrenal fatigue. And I said, no, your adrenals are responding correctly based on the environmental stimulus. Same thing with thyroid's wrong, or everything that people are blaming a part of their body, when really if you have physical, chemical, or emotional stress, your body is going to respond correctly. Sometimes that correct response, we're talking type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, blood sugar, and in crazy world, they drug those responses,
right.
They don't fix them.
Right.
Okay, so be like Josh. Take charge of your health.
It's really not hard to get down here, to be honest. We walk across the border, me and my wife. It's the fastest way. We walk across, there's a taxi cab right there, and like I said, $15 later, we're here at the Grand Hotel, right on a golf course. There's great food. You can stay here if you need. But the best thing is that you've got the hands of the maestro here, who can really straighten you out.
Well, that's because you've been with me like 10 years. Okay, The clinic in Huntington Beach is a blast. This is like like old school because I can walk people through the exam, physical, the first adjustment.
Yeah.
It's actually
That
really
is
fun
true.
for
You're
me.
gonna get the one-on-one with the rock star, with the rock star himself.
No, I didn't know you were a rock star. Okay, this is kind of cool. Take charge of your health. Get your butt. I mean, if you can't make it down here, find somebody that does a real, and by real correction, I mean they take a measurement. Whether it's an x-ray, nerve scan, thermography, blood analysis, I mean, that's all the stuff we do. But have them measure something. Have them do a series of therapies and then measure it again to see that they actually fix something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. The long true course of bending that spine back the way it should be.
Okay, man. Be like Josh. Be like Josh. Be like Josh. I'll see you later. God bless y'all.